Tyrese Gibson has been on our screens as far back as 1994, and he has been able to claw his way to the top. But now, people are tired of seeing him, and his antics are getting really old. But what is more concerning is his public meltdowns, which he has never attempted to hide. Now, we are all for men having a safe space to express their feelings and talk about what they are passing through. But Tyrese Gibson's case seems way more deeper than a simple moment of vulnerability. So, here's the truth behind his public meltdowns. Born and raised in Watts, Los Angeles, California, Tyrese revealed that he struggled with colorism issues. Since he was darker than most of the other black kids around, he was treated differently, which affected his self-esteem. His childhood friends became members of the neighborhood Crips, but he was encouraged to go to school by an older gang member named Dirt Bike Fred. Grateful to Dirt Bike Fred, he decided to go to high school, and that was when his school's music teacher asked him to audition for the Coca-Cola advertisement in 1994. Tyrese got the role, and all he had to do was sing the words "Always Coca-Cola" on a bus, and that was the start of great things for him. Due to the success of the Coca-Cola advertisement, Tyrese Gibson got more appearances in ads for Guess and Tommy Hilfiger. Seeing his amazing singing talent, he got an offer to join RCA Records in 1998, and he released his self-named album Tyrese, which debuted at number 17 on the Billboard charts. Tyrese's music career continued to do well, and in 2007, he formed a trio with Genuine and Tank. They were creating great songs and going on shows together until they broke up in 2015. So it was an 8-year run, which was decent. But the reason for the breakup was absurd for adults working together to make money. Genuine claimed he and Tyrese were both alpha males and Capricorns, so they were having a hard time working together. We don't judge people for believing in astrology, but what do you mean by an alpha male? How do you identify yourself with language used to refer to animals? The fact that they used that as a legit reason to end their blossoming career was enough reason to look into the mental welfare of Tyrese Gibson. But we all miss that. Anyway, let's take it back to 2013, when Tyrese Gibson's Fast and Furious co-star Paul Walker died. It was a sad time in Hollywood because he was genuinely loved by many fans of the Fast and Furious franchise. Also, the fact that he died while car racing made his death more tragic, and we hope his soul is resting in peace. While everyone was jumping through hoops to keep Paul Walker's legacy alive, Tyrese Gibson seemed hell-bent on doing the opposite. On a radio show, he claimed that he and Paul Walker were having with Cindy Leon, Eva Mendez's stunt double.
And me and Paul were smashing the same girl on the set of Too Fast, Too Furious, and didn't even know it.
Wow. Cindy Leon was the first to reveal that information in another interview. But the least Tyrese Gibson could have done was to not indulge in the gossip and just let it die. But he chose to talk about it and went further to reveal that they never stopped having with the same girl. Truly, is any of that information necessary? Are people expected to do a celebratory dance? It was embarrassing for the dead Paul Walker, who could not defend himself, and his child, who would have to go through life with that information. When you think Tyrese Gibson's behavior can't get worse, he just shows you how low he can go. And trust us, it's very low. Let's explore his relationships. Tyrese Gibson and Norma Mitchell first started dating in September of 2002. And after 4 years of dating and 4 months of being engaged, they got married in December 2007. Their marriage was just another marriage they really didn't care for so much. But whenever they were in the public, people would definitely sneak a peek or two. They had their only child, Shayla Rocks, in 2007, but got divorced in 2009. The divorce was ugly as they got into a custody battle for their child. Shortly before appearing in court in November 2017, Tyrese Gibson got on social media and had one of the most unforgettable public meltdowns. It was so bad that people made a meme out of it. We are not in support of making fun of people's hurt, but when it comes to Tyrese Gibson, you don't really know what's real or fake. In his social media meltdown, Tyrese Gibson started by talking about his ongoing feud at the time with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and we will come back to that. After talking about his issues with Dwayne Johnson, he then switched the topic to his child's custodial battle. In the now deleted post, he said, "Don't take my baby, okay? I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby and no one's listening cause no one's in the courtroom."
Don't take my baby.
He was coming off as an emotional father who did not want to be separated from his daughter, right? The only problem is that he then changed the topic to his financial struggles. In his words, "I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? I don't hate you, Norma. I don't know why you hate me, but I don't hate you." Prior to that time, Norma Mitchell had never claimed to hate him in public, so the accusation of her hating him was very intentional. If he was making that video to get custody of his daughter, then he failed woefully, because that only proved to the judge that he was unfit to take care of the little girl. After the court proceedings, Tyrese then came back to social media to claim that he only got emotional and acted erratically because he was on psych drugs. If you truly care for your daughter as much as you claim, why would you want her around you when you are mentally unwell? Who would then look after her during your episodes? It appeared that Tyrese Gibson only wanted to fight for custody of his child to put Norma Mitchell in an uncomfortable position, but she did not back down. Tyrese Gibson claimed that his meltdown was because of his psych drugs, and he had flushed them down the toilet. If your psych drugs were making you act out of character, shouldn't that be a sign to go back to the doctor instead of flushing them down the toilet and staying off medicine while struggling? It all seemed too staged to be true, more like an intentional smear campaign against Norma Mitchell. Whatever his plan was, it did not work, and it just made him look weird in public. During his meltdown, Tyrese Gibson claimed that none of his popular friends were offering to help him, even as he was spending so much money on trying to get custody of his daughter. He claimed that everyone abandoned him and allowed him to wallow in financial struggle alone, which was strange considering that everyone had things they were up to. Even if his rich friends did not have what they were up to, he had zero reason to air them out for not sending him money because he was in a custody battle. That wasn't their responsibility. Anyway, shortly after airing his friends out, Tyrese Gibson claimed that Will and Jada Smith sent him $5 million. Shortly after he made those claims, TMZ released a statement that Will and Jada claimed to have never sent one penny to Tyrese Gibson. The singer-actor was lying in their name, and after that TMZ report rolled out, Tyrese Gibson took to social media again. In his new social media post, he apologized for lying against Will and Jada and confessed that they'd never sent him $5 million. He had apologized to them in private and was also doing so in public. Tyrese ended the apology by blaming the claims on his psych drugs once again. Now, you may want to say that his friends should have actually supported him financially because that's what friends do. But it seems you don't have a full grasp of the situation. Before his 2017 appearance in court, TMZ revealed that Tyrese Gibson was under investigation by the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services. Apparently, he had physically his daughter, Shayla Rocks, over a dozen times. The only reason that news was coming out to the public was because of the custody battle he was embroiled in with Norma Mitchell. Tyrese tried to play away the accusations by claiming he only spanked Shayla once on the bottom, but the court documents said otherwise. According to the court documents, which Norma filed, Tyrese pushed Shayla to the ground, kneeled on her back, and used one of his hands to restrain her while spanking with the other. Norma revealed that Tyrese beat their daughter till she could no longer sit down. He responded to the news by saying they were hurtful lies. In a now-deleted Instagram post, he claimed that Norma Mitchell was jealous of his marriage to his second wife, Samantha Lee Gibson. In the post he wrote, "Norma, I know you can see this. I'm sorry I got remarried. I'm sorry we didn't work out. I'm sorry you haven't been able to find another man since we separated." Child, what exactly was Tyrese on about? Not only was he making fun of his daughter's experience, he was also trying to ridicule Norma Mitchell for not running into marriage the way he did, and honestly, his behavior was disgusting. In true Norma Mitchell's fashion, she ignored his post as it would have been a waste of time to drag herself in the mud with a man who didn't seem to care about anything but himself. Also, they were in the middle of the investigation and child custody battle, so it would have been a disservice for her to air out their dirty laundry. Norma Mitchell had been granted a temporary restraining order against Tyrese Gibson by the court, so the actor could not contact her or Shayla. The day before Shayla was supposed to testify against him in court, Tyrese Gibson sent flowers, balloons, and a teddy bear to 10-year-old Shayla. He also rented an airplane to fly over the building with the words, "No matter what, Daddy loves you, Shayla." Shayla hid and cried in the principal's office when she received the message, as she was mortified. It was a low thing for Tyrese to do, since he knew she was going to testify against him. Norma's lawyers told the court that Tyrese's public display of fatherly affection was in a bid to sway Shayla's testimony in his favor, and a violation of the restraining order, which showed his erratic state of mind. The child abuse case against him was eventually dropped, which goes to show how the justice system is broken. We're no judge, but for the fact that he rented out a plane and sent her gifts right before her testimony, we would lock him behind bars, but that's just us. Tyrese's behavior was evidence of someone who did not know what he was doing, but just wanted a fight. Imagine wanting your friends to send you money shortly after you rented out a plane to manipulate your daughter. If you have the money for a plane, then you must have money for your court proceedings. As the child custody battle got hotter, Tyrese Gibson went live on Facebook and told his fans that his second wife, Samantha Lee, was pregnant with their second child. It appeared that he revealed this information in a bid to garner sympathy. So he was attempting to use an experience that is peculiar and exhilarating for women to get sympathy to sway the public's opinion of him. But shortly after, in the post where he apologized to Will and Jada Smith, he also revealed that his wife was in fact not pregnant. He made those claims up because of psych drugs called Rexulti, which was making him believe things that were not real. Tyrese's insistence on not taking responsibility for his actions, but blaming them on psych drugs was very disappointing. But are we disappointed? Not really. Tyrese's inability to take accountability for his actions did not end with what he was doing with his false claims. In fact, he has been saying problematic things as far back as 2014. In an interview with All Hip Hop in 2014, he was asked if he felt any kind of responsibility as an entertainer toward people to inspire them to live a healthy life. There are so many ways to live a healthy life, like sleeping early, spending time in the sun, going out with friends, and so much more. But his first response was to body shame people. He said, and we quote, "No two situations are the same. If you are fat and nasty and you don't like the way you look, do something about it. It's simple." Is it? But that's not where it ended, as he continued with, "When you take a shower and you put your fat, nasty body in the shower, and by the time you get out, the mirrors are all steamed up so you don't look at what you did to yourself. That may sound offensive or insensitive, but ultimately, you were big as hell because you have earned that. You worked your ass off to eat everything in sight to get big as hell. If you have a problem with the way you look, then you need to do something about it. Excuses sound best to the people that's making them up." Let's take a deep breath while we analyze everything he said. The assumption that every big person is big because they eat everything in sight is degrading and insulting to people who gain weight because of health issues, genetics, and other factors. Also, society has a skewed relationship with food because everybody is either telling you to count your calories or eat without counting calories. It messes with your mind, and in the long run, you develop a bad relationship with food, which shows up as excess weight. Also, it makes no sense for everybody in the world to look thin. What then would happen to people who are not built that way? Tyrese Gibson claimed to have suffered bullying when he was younger. So his first response to offering healthy advice being to body shame fat people says a lot about how he has not really learned anything in life. He received backlash for his comments and soon after posted a lengthy apology on Twitter. In his apology, he wrote, "I want to go on the record and say this. I wrote a book called How to Get Out of Your Own Way, and it had a chapter, Your Body is a Slave of Your Own Mind. And I was talking about me putting on 265 pounds, and me getting out of the shower with the mirror steamed up, and me being ashamed of myself, me kind of falling apart and going through whatever I was going through and losing touch with my focus. If you go back to the movie Waist Deep, I was 255 in that movie. It wasn't directed at women, it was directed at anyone who finds themselves uninspired and unmotivated when it comes to their health. We got 20 million something people dying of obesity." It was a poor choice of words in that particular article for me. I did a book and I talked about this topic and it was an uncomfortable read, but I also exposed myself and talked about how my career was literally falling apart in front of me, and I got lazy in terms of my health. It was a bad choice of words. For those people that I rubbed the wrong way from my poor choice of wording, here's my public apology. I was really putting myself out there, exposing my own truths. If I'm being insensitive, I'm actually talking about my mama, my sisters, and everyone else. That wasn't the goal of the interview. The goal was to motivate and inspire. It was a bad choice of words, period. To be clear, Tyrese's apology was 261 words long, but not a single mention of being sorry or retracting his statement. But one thing he mentioned is how when he added weight, he didn't like how he looked, which says a lot about how much self-hate he exudes, leading us to his next public misbehavior. In January 2024, Tyrese Gibson uploaded a picture of a Latina family being happy to see their father's reaction to the new car they had brought him, and his caption was, "Sometimes I wish I was born Latino. I mean, the Latin community is grounded in family, loyal, entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women literally represent the dream, the grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. If us in Black culture was more grounded in these integral magical nuances of us, we would be dominant. How do you make a comparison between two minority groups and start by wishing you were born Latino? What level of hate do you have for your own people that you would wish you were in another ethnicity? The reason Black people grind till they die is because they are intentionally kept out of spaces that would benefit them and help them move to the next level of their lives. Instead of addressing the systemic problem against your people, you chose to shame them for it and make it their fault." But his comment did not just end with Black people, as he went on to talk about how the Middle East would rather have boy children than girls, saying, "I've learned a lot from the Jewish community sticking together, eating dinner every Friday together. I've learned a lot about the Muslim community throughout all my travels in the Middle East. They have a father structure where they honor their fathers in the Middle East. The thinking and the mentality is that they would much rather have a son over a daughter because they know that there is nothing like the leadership of a father and a man being the head of the household. A man with a daughter talking about why boys are more important than girls should be ashamed of himself. But you truly can't shame the shameless when it comes to Tyrese Gibson. He wants to talk about the importance of having a father who is the leader while owing thousands of dollars in unpaid child support. Samantha Lee divorced Tyrese in 2020, and after the divorce, she went on an interview to talk about how she regrets the divorce. According to her, there were too many people in her ears, and she wished she could go back in time to undo everything. But it's already happened. Tyrese got wind of the interview and replied to her in an Instagram post. He claimed she was only chasing clout to build her YouTube channel by weaponizing single motherhood, which made her a terrible person. He also claimed that she was doing everything for money, since there was no way their 5-year-old child would need $20,000 a month in child support, as that was what Samantha Lee was demanding. We wonder if Samantha Lee felt disgust when she saw his reply to her talking about how she felt about the divorce. Did she stop regretting the divorce after seeing his reply? Or was she still in her bubble of love for Tyrese? Anyway, they eventually agreed on $10,000 per month for their daughter. And in March of 2024, fans found out that Samantha sued Tyrese for not paying child support. He was sending less than half of the agreed amount monthly. And to be honest, we feel sorry for Samantha Lee. Tyrese Gibson has been one big ball of drama, and his public meltdowns are embarrassing, as they never come from a place of true vulnerability, but rather to take advantage of people. It has never worked, and it's high time he wrapped everything up and saw a therapist.